And this is the guy from Pittsburgh, and like this book, the Encyclopedia of the Unsolved, well, every day there's unsolved mysteries out there, not the TV program. So I thought for a change I would discuss some of these strange events. And the first one is in Norfolk, England. I don't think Nori will be going there anytime soon. Hi, Bell Gabbers. Apparently, in Norfolk, there is a clown epidemic. Police were contacted after someone was seen wearing a full clown outfit, and they were frightened by the clowns. So, the police said, "We appreciate this can worry people, especially the younger, the elderly. The most effective way to behave, you see someone dressed up, is to give no reaction because that's what they're after. So watch out for those clowns out there." I know Nori is afraid of them, and see what happens with that. And in Texas, a story fit for Jasmunda. Sheriff's deputies were called, and they didn't believe it when there were reports of a small kangaroo running down a local road. Well, they sent deputies out there, and sure enough, there was a little 4-foot kangaroo just bouncing down the road. There's even video of the thing. And somehow they got a hold of the owner. There's an exotic animal ordinance in that town, and the owner coaxed the kangaroo with a little piece of tree and caught it like it was a dog or a cat and took it home. So I don't know about the kangaroo. And on Australia, they've discovered a whole new unknown region with all kinds of animals and creatures up in the northern Australia. So I don't know what goes on with that. Maybe Jasmunda can go check that out. It's supposed to be an area that's inaccessible. All kinds of creatures there. We already know about the story about the eagle stealing the video camera. In China, they're going to have a vacuum cleaner that is supposed to remove smog. Wearing face masks in cities of China is commonplace, although they've done studies face masks don't do any good to stop spreading disease. 300 micrograms per cubic meter of pollution a day is what people are breathing in there. And the vacuum cleaner uses static to attract smog particles out of the air, so they're going to try that. If it works, an area of 2,090 square meters, in other words, smog-filled sky could be cleaned. Of course, the question is, if you've got the smog vacuum, its heat signature and the power used to generate it produce more smog. So I don't get that unless you have the solar smog generator, which I guess that will come up with next. Let's see here. Famous people that have seen UFOs: Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter. Interesting quote I found from Richard Nixon. He once said, "I'm not at liberty to discuss the government's knowledge of extraterrestrial UFOs at this time. I am still being personally briefed on the subject." Well, David Bowie, C1, Sigourney Weaver, Elvis Presley, and Dan Aykroyd. Let's see what else I can find here. Oh yeah, one of my favorite stories, the idiot story of the day, and it's kind of a pity these people didn't become Darwin Award candidates, because it's really stupid. There was, and I use the term was, a mansion in New Orleans, famous mansion. I've read about it in a lot of my paranormal books. The LeBeau Plantation House. And it was well known for its paranormal activity and ghost sightings. Well, you know, these ghost hunters shows are real popular right now. There seems to be ghost hunters everywhere. Expect any minute someone to come and look for my ghost cats in here with all kinds of EVP things and machines. But a ghostly woman with a long white dress was said to walk in the upstairs porch. The building had been everything from a hotel to an illegal gambling house, but was boarded up and abandoned for years. Well, a group of 7 ghost hunters made their way to the building and to look around, and they wanted to get a response from whatever was involved by calling out spirits with loud noises and verbal intimidation. They couldn't get a response from the ghosts. They decided, for who knows what reason, to light a fire instead. Within minutes, the flames had spread to the building's framework, and by the time the firefighters had arrived, the mansion had been completely destroyed. Nobody was injured, unfortunately. Men now face charges of criminal damage, arson, trespassing, and are not likely to do any more ghost hunting anytime soon. Let's see. What else is going on? Arizona firm called Worldview is offering tourists the chance to ride in space aboard a balloon. The Paragon Space Development Company, hoping to compete with Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic, will be soon offering trips for $250,000 a seat. The balloon-based trips will be a more relaxed affair and cost $75,000 a ticket. Now, I was thinking that if all the podcasters got together and chipped in $20, all the podcasters across the internet, maybe one podcaster could go up there or 2 for $150,000. Imagine we could have the spec sheet up in a balloon up in space. And Worldview is going to use a helium-filled balloon to take people up there. I wouldn't go, but maybe MV and his buddy could go up there and do a podcast from space. Let's see, what else here? Here's a guy in Texas. He not only got struck once by lightning, he was attending the Rednecks with Paychecks event in St. Joe, and a storm came and he hid under a tree, and I'm going, hello, you don't hide under trees during a lightning storm, but this guy did. This was a rodeo clown, by the way, another clown story. So he got struck by lightning once, not just once, but twice. Said he felt the sensation of electricity passing through his right boot into his body. When I got hit, it was like 2 big flashes, sparks went everywhere. They said the poncho I was wearing was carrying static because it was one of those plastic ones. I didn't know plastic was a conductor, but clown gets hit. Let's see what else is going on here. Bear with me, I'm reading this off the screen. Ghost hunters in Pennsylvania. And more ghost hunters, they're everywhere. In Gettysburg, Thanksgiving night ghost hunt ended 2 tourists and their guide being detained at gunpoint by a local cop. A cop passing a clothes store in Gettysburg said he saw flashlights inside. He went in, handcuffed, and searched the 3 ghost hunters. Now, what are you going to search ghost hunters for? I want to know that. Police called the owner. He confirmed the tour operator had permission to use the allegedly haunted Civil War era building. The first Union general killed in the Battle of Gettysburg was brought to the building after being fatally wounded. The owner of the Victorian-style photography studio that occupies the building permitted the tours to decline to comment. Scientists have warned that future generations could be a lot shorter than people are alive today. According to a team of scientists from the University of Michigan, a reduction in size appears to be a common evolutionary response to an increase in global temperatures. Two such examples of such periods were studied, one that occurred 55 million years ago and another that took place 53 million years ago. Wonder why there was a 2 million year difference there, I don't know. In both cases, there were indications that change in temperature had a profound effect on the size of mammalian species. The fact that it happened twice increases our confidence that we're seeing cause and effect. The one interesting response to global warming in the past was a substantial decrease in the body size of mammalian species. Bizarrely, fossil evidence from horses of the time indicated they had reduced in size to something comparable to a small dog. Over the next few thousand years following the recovery, the horses returned to normal size. Well, that means my next incarnation, maybe I can get smaller shoes. Let's see here. Oh, New York lawsuit seeks legal personhood for chimpanzees. This is a biggie. I didn't know there was a hot chimpanzee rights issue out there. That'll be the next thing they'll be wanting benefits for. A U.S. animal group in New York filed what's the first lawsuit to establish the legal personhood of chimpanzees. The nonprofit Non-Human Rights Project asked a New York state court to declare a 26-year-old chimp named Tommy oh boy, a cognitively complex, autonomous legal person with the fundamental legal right not to be imprisoned. The lawsuit seeks a declaration that Tommy's detention in a small, dank cement cage in a cavernous dark shed in central New York is unlawful and demands his immediate release to a primate sanctuary. Chimpanzees possess cognitive abilities that are so strictly protected when they're found in human beings. Stephen Wise, the president of Non-Human Rights Project, told Reuters, "There's no reason why they should not be protected when they're found in chimpanzees." The lawsuit on Tommy's behalf is among three the group is filing this week on behalf of 4 chimps across New York. The other chimps are Kiko, a 26-year-old chimp living on private property in Niagara Falls. I'm tempted to do the joke, but I will refrain. And Hercules and Leo, 2 male chimps used in research at Stony Brook University on Long Island. Tommy's owners, Patrick and Diane Lavery, and Stony University did not immediately return requests for comment. Kiko's owners could not be reached on Monday. The Non-Human Rights Project used its own research to find the chimps, and Wise first visited Tommy in October after reading a local newspaper article about exotic animals kept at the Lavery's used trailer lot in Gloversville, New York, about 50 miles northwest of Albany. He looked terrible. He looked like a caged chimpanzee. They don't move. They don't look at you. They look depressed. I wonder if that's how Tommy looks when he works on George's show every night. Let's see. There's a church in... No, wait a minute. That's not the one. I clicked on the wrong one. A hotel in Sweden, entirely made out of ice, has been ordered to install alarms in case of fire. The hotel is made entirely out of ice, and each year they have to use a combination of snow and ice called snice to build it, and then every year it melts. Well, this year they were ordered to put a fire alarm system, because there are pillows, sleeping bags, or reindeer skins in there, and the hotel said, "We were surprised at first, but there are things that actually can catch fire. The most important concern is the safety of our clients, so we will comply." Now, I'm thinking, if you're in the hotel, you've got an ice pick, and there's a fire, couldn't you just chisel a chunk out of the wall and throw it on the fire? But who knows? It's weird stuff going on. Okay, let's see. That one. Lady in Norfolk, again in Norfolk, in England, she had a recovery of a infection following the removal of her gallbladder, and she'd been unwell for months. She sat down for a while in a pew in a church, and she felt a sudden warm and comfortable sensation while praying for full recovery. She thought little at the time. When she went back, something unexpected turned up in one of the photographs her husband was taking. A white figure wearing a bonnet can be seen sitting directly behind her. When we saw the white figure behind me on the projector screen, we just stood there with our mouths open. I came back, saw Diane sitting there, took the photo. I couldn't see anyone behind her, but it's so clear on the image, it's incredible. A vicar at the church told them the white lady was a legend of a healer who would appear to help the sick. According to the story, in 1830, a man climbed the belfry, claiming he would kiss the white lady if he saw her. He was found huddled in a corner, murmuring, "I've seen her," over and over, before dying a short time later. This ought to be good for football season. I don't know when they're going to come out with it. I'd sure use one of the summer for my iced tea. A new device has been developed is able to chill wine and fizzy drinks in a matter of seconds. Microwaves revolutionized cooking when they first became available, removing the need to stand for long hours over a stove and providing the ability to heat up entire meals in minutes. A kitchen appliance capable of doing the opposite is something that has remained elusive for years. Well, a new device has been able to cool a drink from room temperature to near freezing in just a few seconds. The new device works using a stop-start rotational sequence to create a special vortex that rapidly cools the liquid. The system is able to cool fizzy drinks without agitating the fizz. It's being hailed as the next thing in kitchen accessories, uses 80% less energy than standard drink chillers. There's no information on who puts this out in this story, and no information if the Vortex could be a portal. More story in England. Big UFO flap in North Devon at a wind farm. Now, for years we've heard that UFOs hover over nuclear power plants, missile silos, things like that. But I don't think I've ever heard UFOs hovering over a wind farm. But photographer Rob Tibbles of the North Devon Journal snapped some images of the wind farm. When he later examines his pictures, he captured a mysterious object in the sky above the turbines. The gray-colored, oval-shaped UFO, isolated in the above close-up image, becomes more interesting when viewed from the original perspective in which it was taken. There's a composite photo provided in the Huffington Post, the object at 3 different magnifications. They contacted Cheverner's 22 Search and Rescue Division, a British military base, who suggested a training exercise they were engaged in Saturday may have generated UFO reports. Well, bonk, because I saw the image and it don't look like no military plane to me. After the image was published in the North Devon Journal, area citizens began to report their own sightings. Pat Naughton told the Journal, "While driving to Torrington on Thursday night, I saw strange bright lights in the sky, and the car had flashes of blue in it, very creepy." Eric Whitley said her husband had seen something unusual above Fullabrook. He spotted a strange bright object in the sky, looking from a swim bridge across the barn stable into the direction of the wind turbines. And Jacqueline Leighton Boyce of Dulverton reported to the Journal, "I too saw a strange thing in the sky on Saturday, November 23rd. Boyce managed to film the light, and a friend took the video and slowed it down. And I'm trying to find more. Three amateur Bigfoot hunters, Bigfoot's always in the news, ended up in custody after one of them accidentally shot one of his friends. According to the Oklahoma Sheriff's Department, the three men had been attempting to hunt down the elusive hominid Saturday night. One of them became spooked, believing he'd run into the legendary creature and managed to pull a bullet in its friend's back instead. The man immediately called the emergency services, who arrived promptly on the scene. Despite the nature of the injury, the man who was shot is expected to survive. Authorities investigating the incident were unable to locate any sign of the weapon used in this shooting, but concluded the incident was accidental. Maybe Bigfoot took the gun, so they wouldn't get charged with discharging a weapon. Sheriff Scott Wilson admitted the circumstances surrounding the shooting were a little unusual. When you start off an explanation like that, you believe anything like that. Well, that's beyond belief, isn't it? And let's see. Any more? Oh, yes. And finally, the last story I'll post here for the night. We had the year 2000 that was supposed to crash all the computers and bring the entire technological world to a standstill. Airplanes, reservations, credit cards. Didn't happen. Then we had 2012. Well, folks, we're doomed again. This time, straight out of Capital One. Yes, it's some evil barbarian Vikings. They're going to screw us all, because according to Norse mythology, the Vikings have their own version of doomsday, and it's fast approaching. The end of the world has come and gone. Mankind seemed obsessed with it. The next such event, known as Ragnarok, is based on Norse mythology and tells of events leading to the end of days. The countdown begins with the blowing of the horn of the Norse god Heimdallr to signify the world's impending destruction, which is allegedly due to happen on February 22nd, 2014. Well, I'm sure that George Norrie will be on the air for that event, and we'll probably hear all about it as the world blows up when the horn of Heimdallr goes off. It will not be the shofar horn, but it will be a Viking horn, and we'll see what happens with that. So, in conclusion, I have to say, free Art Bell. Hi, Bellgabbers, and have a great morning, and I'll catch you next time. This is the guy from Pittsburgh. Bye-bye.